to pray for the impossible this week. More than ever before, I want to admonish you to launch out into the deep and pray God-sized prayers. Pray more than just bless me and my four, in other words. God loves you, and He loves for you to pray for the impossible. And when we believe Him for those things that are beyond our ability, God loves it when we pray for the impossible. He's looking for those who will have faith that will still press through in prayer when things are going absolutely in the impossible way. He is the God of the impossible. Our impossibilities are God's possibilities. Do you believe that, church? It's right in the midst of the impossibility that God will be highly exalted. Because when God brings you through your valley of despair, when God brings you out of some bondage, you know it was God and God alone. And so you can say, look what the Lord has done. He will be exalted in your impossible places. In the midst of that, He loves the impossible places in our life because that is when He gets to show His greatness, His supreme greatness. We need to raise our view of God and realize that He is still the God of the impossible. Your Bible is full of the promises like that for us, and every one of them were true today as they were when they were first penned. Yet many people say that the day of miracles has passed, claiming that they ended in the Bible days. But I want to testify up in this house today the fact that you are here, and you are here, and you are here, and you are here, and y'all back in the back are here. You are a testimony of the miracle-working power of God. Look at your neighbor and say, you are a miracle.
You are a miracle.
Tell your neighbor you're a miracle. And by the way, you look marvelous. Amen. You look marvelous. The Apostle Paul says that we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellence and the power may be of God and not of us. What is the treasure we have in this earthen vessel? The treasure you have is the anointing, the presence of the Godhead living on the inside of you. Do you know that is something that David could not say? That's something that Samuel could not say. That's something Isaiah or Abraham or Jacob or any of the patriarchs of the Old Testament could say. They could not say they had this treasure, the presence of the Holy Spirit living on the inside of you. And so if you know you've got the presence of the Holy Ghost on the inside of you, why do you go around saying, I can't do this, I can't do that, when your Bible says that you are able to do all things because you have the power of God living on the inside of you. I came across a great quote by a great preacher of faith of yesteryear, Ian Bounds. He said, the possibility of prayer are the possibilities of faith. Prayer and faith are twins. Think about that. Our heart emanates them both. Faith is always praying. Prayer is always believing. Faith must have a tongue by which it can speak. Prayer is the tongue of faith. Faith must receive. Prayer must rise and soar. Faith must give to prayer the wings to fly and ascend. Prayer must have the audience with God. Faith opens the door and accesses and audiences are given. Prayer asks. Faith lays its hand on the thing asked for. Several things happen in our lives, church, when we face impossible places. We often don't like to be challenged in this way, but God does a deep work within us when we face the impossibilities with persevering faith. Persevering faith. The kind of faith that causes you to press on, press on, press on. The Apostle Paul learned to delight. Now listen, the Apostle Paul learned to delight in the impossible place because he realized that it was there that he experienced the true power of God. We are divinely sustained by a power greater than ourselves. When we lose our own control, get your ears on, when we lose our own control, then we experience the power of God's control. Look what he says. Look at this. He says, we lose control. Think about that. Therefore, he said in 2 Corinthians 12 and 10, therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest on me. Second of all, we become absolutely dependent. We're weak, but he is strong. We're broken vessels and empty and ready for Christ to use us. He continues in verse 10. He says, this is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weakness. Listen, doesn't that sound just like us? We delight in weakness, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, and in difficulties. Why? For when I am weak, then I am strong. Third of all, we're changed. We move from the place where God is on the throne, and it changes us. We move into that place. We're changed, and we can change other things. We lose our identity in Christ, and it is he that is living through us. Look what 2 Galatians 2:20 says. I have been crucified. I have been crucified with Christ. And I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. The life I live in the body, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. Fourthly, we cease from our own works. We give place to God's ways and his word. We become instruments of noble purposes. Look what he says in 2 Timothy 2:20 and 21. In a large house there are many articles, not only of gold and silver, but also of wood and clay. Some are for noble purposes and some are for ignoble. If a man ceases or cleanses himself from the latter, he will be an instrument for noble purposes, made holy, useful to the master, and prepared to do any good work. And fifthly, we rest in faith. God is teaching us to rest in faith and to learn to enter into his rest that he has promised us. This means that we cease from our own fleshly works. Hebrews 4:10 says, then there remains then a Sabbath rest for the people of God, who anyone who enters into God's rest also rests from his own works, just as God